some noise for
Orange Juice in a Blunt.
Whoreson, the story of a ghetto pimp. "24. It was a clear, starlit night. Most of the traffic was gone. It was that in-between hour of the evening. When I got downtown, Stella was standing in front of Hudson's department store. When I blew my horn, she came running over, her black silk dress hugging her hips provocatively. Her eyes sparkled at the sight of me. "Oh, Johnny, I was so worried you changed your mind." She stepped into the car, displaying more class than I was accustomed to. I let my eyes run up and down her body slowly. It made her happy when I looked at her like that. She knew she was getting old, so I guess she figured she was losing her looks. The dress brought out her complexion, though, and when she smiled, it made her look 10 years younger. We stopped and had dinner at Harry's Supper Club before continuing on our way. When I pulled up in front of the church, I saw by my watch that I was 2 minutes early. I pulled her to me and kissed her. She complained happily, "Stop, Johnny, you're going to mess up my makeup." When a woman is really in love, she looks desirable, or maybe it was just the $20,000 I was about to get. Whatever it was, something made her look very good that night. I got out of the car and opened the door for her. She smiled her appreciation as she got out. So easy to make a woman in love happy. We walked into the church, hugged up tightly together. She was lying in my arm as though she had been made there. Preacher had to wave frantically at the organ player to stop him from belting out one of Jimmy Smith's latest numbers. Stella was too far gone to notice. The people sitting around the church played their parts well. Most of them were too drunk to know what was going on, while others thought it was the real deal going down. I glanced around and noticed one winehead holding his woman in her chair. She was too drunk to sit up by herself. I held my breath, prayed that it would end in a hurry, and rushed Stella towards the front of the church. If Stella had been black, she would have been hip immediately. But she had never been in a black church before, so whatever she saw was bound to look strange. The organ player began to play "Here Comes the Bride." I stared at Preacher, hoping like hell he would hurry. My stomach flipped over on me as though I was standing in front of a judge, getting ready to be sentenced on first degree. Preacher mumbled out the words, and I managed to get my yeses in at the right place. As soon as it was over, I kissed the bride. I let out a sigh of relief. One drunk came up and tried to kiss the bride, but I pushed him away. I didn't give a damn about him kissing her. I just didn't want her to smell that goddamn booze on his breath. I handed Preacher a fat envelope. "Here you go, Reb," I said. "Maybe this will help you get a larger church." He grinned and accepted the sealed envelope. "Good luck to both of you happy people. May you get what you both hope for." Stella was beaming with happiness. "Thank you, sir," she replied sweetly. Her face was full of joy, and for a moment I hated myself for the low-down trick I was getting ready to put on her. I glanced over my shoulder and saw one of the drunk-ass bitches trying to do a striptease. I damn near shit on myself until I saw someone pull her back down to her seat. After that, I didn't waste any time getting the hell out of there with Stella. She seemed to enjoy my dilemma. When we got outside, she acted like she wanted to go back in. "All I want to do is thank all the nice people for showing up," she said happily. "The hell with the nice people," I replied quickly. "They would have been here anyway. It's a church night." Again I held the door for her while she got in. A little more kindness wouldn't hurt a thing this late in the game. She gave me directions as I drove. When we got to the suburbs, it was like another world to me. No broken-down houses staring you in the face, everything neat and clean, the streets unlittered with tricks accosting every woman that walked past. Yes, Stella, I thought coldly, you're going to pave the way so that I'll never have to live in another slum again. From here on out, it would be penthouses with the best of everything tossed in. I had experienced enough filth and poverty to last me 4 lifetimes. When I pulled up in her driveway, I could see that her house was in the $50,000 bracket. It was far more than just a modern ranch-type home with a beautiful lawn. There was enough room on her property to hold 10 inner-city homes, with room to spare. The inside of the house turned out to be just as beautiful. Wall-to-wall carpet, rooms big enough for a man to really live in. I felt good at the thought of all this being mine now, if I wanted it. But I had my cap set for bigger prey. This was just a beginning. Stella was just one more woman for me to use on my way to the top. Right then, I came face to face with myself. I didn't care for no one woman, black or white. They were all just stepping stones. Life had become a giant jungle for me, in which the coldest, most brutal animal won. To fight your way out of the quicksand of the slums, you had to be ruthless. Maybe Preacher was right when he said I was a man caught between 2 races, with neither one wanting me. If so, I didn't give a damn. I didn't need to be anyone or anything but me. Stella had everything prepared. "Here, honey," she said, and held out a champagne bottle for me to open. I took a towel and wrapped it around the cap and opened it without a pop. We drank up the bottle, then moved to something a little stronger. I rolled up some weed and gave her a joint. The weed on top of the whiskey lit her up. Before she got too high, she grinned at me and got up. "Here, honey, I want you to see I'm holding up my end of the deal." She got up and staggered towards the bedroom. I followed her and watched closely as she opened up her wall safe. She flashed the money at me, then started to close it back up. "Wait a minute, baby," I said quickly. "That's mine, ain't it?" She nodded drunkenly. I removed the money and set it on the bed. It was the first time in my life I had ever seen so much money. I slowly counted it while she staggered out to refill our drinks. When she returned, I was drunk on power. Green power. I stacked the money on the dresser. Stella now wore only her slip. I caught her around the waist. If I hadn't known myself so well, I would have sworn I was in love. I pushed her down on the bed and pulled one of her straps loose, revealing one of her beautiful pink tits. I put my mouth over it and slowly ran my tongue up and down on the nipple until it became hard. I could feel my penis rearing like it was about to bust out of my pants. The money had excited me more than anything else in my life. I mounted her, with my pants still on, and rammed myself down into her. She caught her breath quickly, but loved it all at the same time. I took her roughly, pounding up and down in her until she moaned. When she reached up for me, I clutched her tightly in my arms and gave her the best $20,000 fuck I had ever given. We lay beside each other, breathing heavily. Soon her light snore came to me. I rolled over and stared down at her face. Gently, I kissed her cheek. I really liked Stella, but I couldn't allow my emotions to come between me and the bright lights.